I'm a sixth-generation farmer. I work alongside my dad and my granddad every day of the week. I guess I just had a love from farming from the first time I got on a tractor and went with my dad and done chores in the morning. I just decided that's what I wanted to do, and I went from there.
I grew up in northern Illinois, about 60 miles outside of Chicago. If you would have asked me in college, I would have said, yeah, I know about agriculture and farming. But until you move and you are just dropped into this lifestyle, on an operating farm, you really can't understand or appreciate what goes on here.
We farm about 2,000 acres. A majority of it is row crop acres, corn, soybeans, a little bit of wheat. We've also got a cattle operation, about 60 head of mama cows, baby calves, and we have a small group of sheep. We own about 600 acres of the 2,000 that we farm. The rest of it's rented with landlords that we work with on conservation programs. Both of us benefit from the process, and we can take care of the farm, and they can reap a little bit of profit off of it. I had a soils professor in college that really instilled in us that, the benefits of no-till and cover crop. And when I got back from college, we started, practicing some of those practices, and we found out it was working. We were saving dirt. The soil wasn't running off at the end of the year. Crops were doing good. We didn't really see a yield drag doing that. And then we got into a little bit more of the cover crops about 6 years ago. It's just a whole different environment, and it's just really neat to watch it grow and change. With cover crops, what we're doing is almost building a new soil mat that's going to break down and become our new soil. What we try to do is get like a good cover crop like cereal rye or triticale that'll make a big thick mat. It'll start breaking down, and it may take it 2 years to break down, but as it breaks down, you can tell that soil will start loosening up. It'll become more absorbent. You got more organic matter in that top layer, and essentially we're just trying to rebuild that soil from the top up. After that first year, you start seeing your earthworms. You start seeing where your microbes are eating that plant material and chewing it up. And it's amazing how fast it disappears after that first couple of years. You've got that new environment. You've got them fed. You've got them established. So you got to continue to feed them. So we continue to plant, new cover crops and keep something growing on those fields year round.
We cover as much ground at this point as we can. And then we use lots of different little tools like water grassways and terraces, even things down to the ways that we graze our cattle and our sheep and where we graze our cattle and our sheep, because we have a responsibility to not only use the resources to raise a great crop, but protect the resources that are here.
We found out that we're doing more than just gaining organic matter and helping with soil erosion. We're also helping with water infiltration. And we had a good example of that would be this spring we had a huge 4-inch rain, and we could drive up and down the road and look in our road ditch and the water was still clear. It wasn't muddy, it wasn't murky type water. It looked like drinking water. And I guess at that point it was kind of the old wow factor for us that we're doing something good.
There's no short-sightedness. They never make a decision based on what the profit could be this year. Everything is based on this long-term plan, and profitability is a piece of that. It's an important piece of that, but the health of the farm and the environment that's surrounding them, the whole piece of it is important to them. And that excites me, and it makes me really proud of what they're doing and what we get to do here. So I started this blog just to kind of tell our farm story. And so my drive and my passion to try and share what's going on here is really the disconnect, because so much of what is on social media and so much of what's being published in traditional media is not accurate of what's actually going on our farm. And so you want to reach out to people and you want to tell them, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it. And almost all the time when people hear that, they actually can feel pretty prideful and excited about American agriculture. So that's exciting when we can kind of see that light bulb go off for other people.
We've got a lot of farmers that have wanted to start using cover crops that come to us to ask questions because they know we know a little bit about it. We know what works in this area. And it's kind of fun to hear the gossip in town about, what's the Lamberts doing up there on that road, or, what's growing in that field, or do they have any idea what they're doing? But it gives us a good talking point.
We want this farm to be here, and not just be here, but to be here in better condition should our boys choose to come back.
One of the things I'm most passionate about is just being able to leave something in better shape than what it got left to me. I always feel like you should be able to improve something and hand it down to the next generation, just like my father's done for me and his father's done for him. Enjoy what you do and be devoted to it, but don't be afraid to try new things. You need to be open to new ideas, but at the same time, there's a reason other things have worked in the past, and so don't be afraid to use the old things too.